Hey guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com here with an overview of the BMR Billet Aluminum vertical links with spherical bushings fitting all 2015 and newer S550 Mustangs. In this video, we're going to cover a few topics with these vertical links. We're going to talk about how these can help your S550, the materials and construction, and the install as well. I'll get into more detail later, but I can tell you right now that the install for these is easy. It's a 1 out of 3 wrenches in the difficulty meter. The BMR vertical links with spherical bushings are something that you're going to want to check out if you're looking to fight off some of the wheel hop that the S550 is known for, and you aren't concerned with other factors such as NVH. Spherical bushings like the ones in these vertical links give you a solid connection to the chassis, which is going to give you much better performance than rubber or even poly bushings would. So just looking at these on the table here, I can already tell you that they're a big upgrade over the factory vertical links. They're much larger and thicker, and they aren't going to flex under load like the stamped steel stock link might. These are CNC machined from Billet Aluminum, but the big thing with these vertical links is going to be the bushings, or in this case, the bearings. These vertical links have spherical bearings, which are not only going to be greatly different than the stock rubber bushings, but they're also different than some of the other aftermarket options out there, like poly bushings and even Delrin bushings. So the bushings in your suspension components are such an important piece of the puzzle because it's the bushings that are going to see the force of the energy and torque that you're trying to transfer to the ground. If the bushings are soft, like stock bushings are, or they're worn out, then they'll deflect, and deflection doesn't do anything for getting power to the ground because instead of transferring that power, the bushing's going to absorb it. These vertical links have spherical bearings, which are at the top of the food chain when it comes to performance-based bushings. You have your rubber bushings at the bottom of the chain because they're the softest, then you have your poly bushings, which are more stiff, then there's Delrin, and on top of that, at the top of the chain are rod ends and spherical bearings. Spherical bearings, like the ones in these vertical links, connect the suspension solidly to the chassis. The biggest benefit to this is no wasted energy through deflection as the power is transferred through the chassis. The trade-off here is the fact that these do not absorb that energy. Since the spherical bearings don't absorb any energy at all, that means all of the NVH is going to be transferred through the chassis, which is going to affect your ride quality. A lot of times spherical bearings are safe for race applications because of this. The harder the bushing is, the higher the NVH, and there's nothing more solid than a spherical bearing. Now what I'm trying to say here is that you are going to notice some more NVH, but we're just talking about vertical links here. You're not eliminating all of your bushings in your suspension. So you can expect a small noticeable change, but depending on the rest of your suspension, you don't have to worry that you're going to be creating a dump truck ride here. I just wanted you guys to be aware that there is going to be some more NVH due to that solid connection. I do want you to keep in mind that while these will work to reduce wheel hop and keep the rear planted better, these are only one component of the IRS, and there are a handful of other pieces that you can look into to really stop wheel hop and get better traction. You can even start to get into things like cradle and diff bushings or even lockouts. But at the end of the day, these are still a good step towards eliminating the wheel hop and getting the rear more stable. That means harder launches and keeping the suspension more consistent no matter what you're doing with your car. When it comes to price, you're looking at spending just north of $250 for these vertical links if you're going to pick up a set. Now I will say that this is a little bit more expensive than your other options out there, but that all goes back to the fact that these have the spherical bearings and not normal bushings. These are the most performance-based vertical links that you can get, and they're also made by BMR, which is a top name in the suspension industry, so I'm honestly not surprised at all by the price tag. The install for these is an easy one. It's a 1 out of 3 wrenches in the difficulty meter, and you can expect to spend an hour or 2 tops to get the install completed. You won't need any tools out of the ordinary, actually only a few wrenches and a torque wrench, and of course a jack and jack stands, or a lift if you're lucky enough to have access to one. The vertical link sits right behind the rear rotor, so you have to pull the rear wheels to get access. Once that's done, you're just looking at 2 bolts to get the stock vertical link out. You reuse the factory lower bolt to install the new vertical link, but use the supplied hardware and washer for the top of the link. You'll want to torque those down to spec and reinstall your wheel and tire, and that's all it's going to take. Wrapping things up here with the BMR Billet Aluminum vertical links, these have spherical bearings, and they're going to be the most performance-oriented option due to that fact. A spherical bearing will create a solid connection that's going to transfer and not absorb the torque and energy of the drivetrain. The trade-off will be a little added NVH, but if you're really looking for the best performance, these are going to get you there. As always, I suggest you check them out more online, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.